Yo kije ka boren yo chindi tene. Yo chichi. Webitor robang tonga.
Nyarta yang Paulina Smith.
The akroitine gene kena kite zoani. Yaringa boje nyauria.
Best way. Guys, idea mimi ni wengine kwa mambo na kitu kama ni dawa hizo ya kutibu mbuzi ya, kwa sababu najua naye sometimes unakuanga changamoto wakati mbuzi za hizi ampatwa na maradhi. Sasa mtu unapata changamoto ya kutibu.
The project in focus is the multinational rural livelihoods adaptation to climate change in the Horn of Africa. In short, it's called Rlacc. Rlacc was conceived as a complement to Drought Resilience and Sustainable Livelihoods Program Phase 1, which is ongoing in the country Kenya. Basically, in Kenya, Rlacc is being implemented in 2 counties, the Baringo County and Turkana County. Rlacc is being supported financially by the government of Kenya through a grant from Global Environment Facility, GEF, that is being administered through the Africa Development Bank. In this particular documentary, we are going to showcase what is actually being implemented in the field, from the infrastructural development to that is building the social capital, and also the maybe financial and the human capital and all that. So we basically have a presentation or a documentary that we hope will help you understand more what Rlacc has been implementing.
Mimi ni mkulima wa Kiboi Irrigation Scheme as well as beneficiary ya Kiboi Acheivements. Tunashukuru African Development Bank kwa kutufund through TRSLP kutusaidia kuchenga Acheivements. Baada ya wao kuchenga, wakaona kuna erosion iko under risk kwa Acheivements, waka fund through Rlacc to conserve the erosion, and we are now enjoying the benefits ya Rlacc. Kabla tulikuwa tumeona kama erosion ni changamoto kwa hii Acheivements, na Rlacc wale walichip in wakatujengea gabions na terraces, na tunashukuru kwa hiyo project.
It has 3 components. Basically, the first component is mainstreaming climate change issues into development plans, and number 2 component is investments in resilience building activities that are supposed to be implemented in these 2 counties to help the communities that are living in these counties, and basically the vulnerable communities to climate change be able to adapt to their livelihoods to climate change. And number 3 component is basically project management, monitoring and evaluation.
These 2 counties were selected for these Rlacc activities because of the intense impact of soil erosion in the counties in general, but specifically around where we have built structures that would be like assets to these communities. Contractors have been identified to construct these structures, also provide material for production, or to provide water where we are doing some shallow wells, or to provide pasture seed where we are reseeding the rangelands, and also do the gabions and soil and water conservation structures in the different sites.
In the last 1 year, we have carried out activities that have been geared towards climate proofing the DRSLP assets, but mostly we have dealt with the climate proofing of the Smile irrigation scheme, which was the prime project for DRSLP. In Smile, we have done control measures for floods that have been affecting the scheme over the previous seasons or rainy seasons. We have also created a livestock access corridor so that livestock don't go through the scheme but uses the perimeter of the scheme to access water from River Turkana.
These projects came here so that it can help us climate proof the Rlacc projects around here, because there's a lot of erosion in this area. The soils are very sodic and fragile, and if there is any water, you find there is a lot of erosion and the gullies are forming. The people who live on the higher sides are not doing sustainable agriculture systems, farming systems. They're not protecting their land well, so water is coming down here and doing a lot of erosion and a lot of damage down here.
Basically, in this particular activity today, we are visiting farmers that were issued with breeding stock of goats. Basically, we were giving them 3 goats, that is two does and a buck, to help them, especially the really vulnerable communities, to restart their stock. This being a pastoral community, they value and cherish livestock, and it's also helps in the building their own self-esteem and prestige, and let's say the social capital.
Loto kala pay toto ikale lo diojichi ara lo koi kidongai are kide yakade ari muni ang barine ngulu a ko kanu tukani ara karani apei amakari nyonte amakari nye akadko utuden ateriam robo ye loko ko nga ene ara ide kengine ani bene ko maliti yo ke arai roba bona yo to kana metang barine yo ba boni ay nga jikamat.
Identifying the beneficiaries, it is our target to have a minimum of 40% of the beneficiaries being females. In most of the structures, we have surpassed that percentage, both in the number of beneficiaries and even in the leadership, those in position of leadership for most of these beneficiary communities, which is very key in matters climate change. We are aware of the importance of gender equity in matters addressing climate change. If women are not involved, most of the times, again, they can be the ones that will intensify the vagaries of climate change, because they're the ones who fetch firewood, they are the ones most times who are providing labor on the farms. So if they understand the impact of climate change and they are participating in addressing those vagaries, then it becomes more sustainable to have climate change matters addressed by the beneficiary communities. They are the ones mainly on the farms most of the times, particularly in Baringo and Turkana, because the men will be herding livestock, the women will be on the farm.
In Turkana, we have ongoing activities under Component 2, whereby we have implemented a number of activities like sinking of hand-dug shallow wells. We have constructed cut-off drains and also erosion control measures, basically to help in climate proofing the infrastructure that has been developed under DRSLP program. We are also helping farmers through income generating activities and creating of productive assets, and also alternative help them implement activities that will help in the farmers coming up with alternative livelihoods to maybe livestock like beekeeping and aggregating of honey, processing and marketing of the same.
The other activity that we have conducted is on creative assets, that is giving productive assets to vulnerable and marginalized members of the community. Under this component, we have given 600 goats to 200 households. The goats were given in sets of 3, a back and 2 doors, and the targeted members of the community were mostly the elderly widows who had little resources. We also targeted people who are physically disabled, and we also targeting young mothers, young single mothers who have little or no sources of income.
Mathi akroithine gene kena kite wani kreatakin tibocha ibere peito kana yokoto bocha kongwalikin jatamari yokotaki chanalo barnya kangulu.
We got some vetiver grass that is around the structures. Vetiver grass is very good because the roots are very deep and to make the soil stable, and therefore erosion does not take place. And then we planted trees around the structures so that they can also help in climate change interventions, for example, getting out carbon and making the area better, and even giving shades to people around there. We also had planted some fruit trees like mangoes within the compound also. They can also give fruits and be good for health.
Nashukuru Rlacc kwa kutujengea gabions ili kuzuia mmomonyoko wa udongo.